Today is October 5th, 2016, and that means we are even further into prep. Like, we are in October. So today I have to start off with a confession. Since I started back up with these videos, I've not looked at my comments. I knew I would get a few comments, and I in fact was just a little bit embarrassed about making videos again, and I never really know how to interact, and I never know how to, anyway, I'm an incredible introvert and in certain situations I can be a little outgoing, like making these videos I'm probably as outgoing as I ever am, but like receiving feedback on them makes me very nervous, and so I waited until like last night to look at any comments for any videos that I've recently put up. So that's my confession. But I have to say that once I actually looked at them, they were what I knew in my head would be, and my heart was full. Because I get afraid that something terrible is going to be said, even though I know in my head that really doesn't matter, but my emotions just kind of don't understand that. So I was just very pleased with all of the very kind things that have been said lately, and so I just, I responded to comments last night, and I also just wanted to mention at the beginning of this video, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I got some great feedback yesterday from last week's video where I kind of went over some of the ideas that I'm running through for this nano, and just really great feedback. I'm just so grateful, and my heart is full, so thank you. So, now that that's out of the way, let's move on to the video. First thing I wanted to talk about today is the Plot Perfect, how I'm doing on taking notes from this thing. I'm doing okay with taking notes. I did take several days off. In fact, I didn't take any notes until yesterday. But it seems that I'm moving into a section of the book where there's actionable information that I can use. The deeper I get into it, the more I realize this is just a different approach to writing than I am comfortable with. And that's not to say that this is a bad book. It seems to be a very solid book for people who write a certain way. And that's not even like pantsers versus plotters. It's just a very different way to approach planning a novel. And it doesn't make me very comfortable, which might be something that I should embrace, right? They always say, you know, do things that make you uncomfortable. It can yield really fantastic results or whatever, but it's uncomfortable in a way that's uncomfortable. And though I'm finding useful information at this point, I'm still getting frustrated with the book. And it just comes down to that, where this book is just not meant for me, but I'm going to persevere, get through it. I feel I owe that to Paula. I owe that to Paula and anybody who has picked this up for this year, to get through it and to actually finish reading this, take as many notes as I possibly can, and give it my best try. So that's what I'm doing. I am being faithful to the book. So I'm still not done with it. I probably have another week's worth of notes to take, but now that everything has kind of become routine for the other challenge that I'm working through this month, I'm gonna have more time to do some of this stuff. That being said, last week I ran through a couple ideas that I had for NaNoWriMo this year, and I still haven't chosen a story, but I'm closer. Last week, 2 people left comments about the magic color story. I was really surprised by that because I thought it was the least original of all the ideas that I'd posed, but it's also the one that has like basically no plot. And it's interesting because I keep thinking about that one too when I think about the possibilities that I have for this NaNoWriMo. I keep thinking about that one and the space one and maybe the train one. Those are the 3 that are kind of like tied at this point. But more the magic colors one. There's something bright and shiny about that idea that keeps pulling me in that direction, and so I think you guys are totally right. It's interesting. I can do it in a way that might differentiate it from people who have done something similar before. And so you know, that might be the one I choose. I don't really know yet. What I did last night, I had a bit of a breakthrough. I decided, in order to make a decision on which story to write, I had to start figuring out what the plot of these stories was to see if they were interesting enough to do. And I started with magic colors, and I had a huge breakthrough with it. I have a main character and I have a general plot line now, and I think it's kind of fun. It's not too complicated that I can't like try to get it done this year. In fact, I think it might be the first story that I could probably write in 50,000 words. Because none of the ones that I've done beforehand have been able to be written in that small amount of time. In that small amount of words. I tried to use like the plot perfect kind of outline of beginning, middle, and end that Paula provides in her book, and that was helpful. It gave me a structure to kind of think about where the story was going, because I definitely don't want to just kind of start from the beginning with no idea what's going to happen in the end. And I think I have some interesting things happening. I'm wondering if I should stick with an all-female cast for the super pivotal characters, like the main character, and then the two kind of antagonists, maybe? I don't know. There's definitely male characters in there, like her brother is a big part of it, and I don't know, I'm thinking. And as I was plotting it, the story ended up going in a different direction than I kind of initially thought it would, which was kind of cool to go through that plot process. I think plotting a story is one of my favorite parts of it. Just the thinking and the planning and like just the basic storytelling. Where is the story going? And then sitting down and writing it is just a bit more of a chore than than the initial planning stages for me. It's like when I was doing digital filmmaking and video production for my major, I so preferred pre-production or post-production than actual filming production days. Like, those were the worst. They took forever to get any kind of progress done, and it felt like I was just ripping my hair out the entire day. And sometimes there are some days while I'm writing that it's exactly like that. But for the most part, I do enjoy it. I'm thrilled by the progress that I have on this story. I haven't 100% made up my mind that this is the one that I want to do. I want to kind of run through several ideas through the same plotting mechanism that's outlined in this book and see if I can get any clearer picture for any of these other ones. But I'm so glad that I now have a plot for Magic Colors. It's a plot! But I'm so excited to play with this story and to play with my other stories. So that's what I'm going to do between this week and next week. I'm going to take some of my other options for stories through the same plotting structure I did with Magic Colors and see if any of the other ones excite me more than Magic Colors. If not, that's probably going to be the one. I'll let you know next week. The other thing I need to do is finish taking notes for this book. I just want to be done with it. And depending upon which story I choose, because I need to make a decision over the next couple of days, depending on which one I choose, I need to start plotting. It's time. We are in the first week of October, so I have 3 weeks left to plan and plot, because I'm doing videos on Wednesday because November 1st is a Wednesday. So there's 3 weeks left? I don't even know. Oh. Wait. No! Okay, so I was wrong. I totally just lost my mind for a second there. November ends on a Wednesday. That's why I'm doing my updates on Wednesdays. But that doesn't change the fact that there's less than 4 weeks left. There's 3 weeks in some days. And so plotting needs to start soon, and so I'm hoping to do it sooner than later. Hopefully I start by next week. Whoa, that took forever to kind of figure out. Oh. construction started, so I need to end this. That's it for me this week. I will see you next week for another update. Leave a comment below and let me know how you're doing on your prep. There's a lot of people who have already told me that they're doing NaNoWriMo this year, and so if you're prepping at this point, you're probably a plotter like me. Have you started plotting yet? And have you missed any days like apparently I have? I'm working on my October Stitchery Witchery project right now. So I've got that going for me this month. It's going to strain my prep, and so I'm hoping I can rise above and do them both at the same time. If you're interested in hearing anything else about that, I made a video the other day about it, and you can read more on my blog. I'll leave it in the description below. So I will see you next week. I'm hoping I can get some of this work done. I'll see you then, bye! And there were 2 comments left. Why do I do that? I like inhale and then it just becomes rushed.